Getting a powerful character in Lost Ark can seem tricky, and sometimes you just see someone doing so much more damage even though they're the same eye level as you. Why is this happening? Let me help you out with that today. So for reference, this is my breaker. I would think he is nearly perfect. He of course can use some better accessories like some super high highs, but those are of course are very expensive. But I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks you should follow, and hopefully your character will become just a little bit stronger. In this video I'm gonna be talking of course as well about the Ark Passive. This is not a standard system for us right now. In around 2 days it will be for every single character, so don't worry about engraving support, all that kind of stuff. That is going to be gone in 2 days, so just follow this guide in 2 days if you are not there yet. So first off, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the basics of the basics. Make sure first of all you have the right build. To get started, a nice little website is going to be Lost Ark Nexus. This, of course, has a build for every single class out there. You want to play a Gunlance, an Arcana, a Bard, or anything like that, then this website has a build for you. But, of course, I'm going to give some alternatives if you want to go dive a little bit deeper. So, we right now have the Lost Ark Inspect Thingy, aka uoomethy.mo, the website where you can go ahead and inspect any single player inside of Lost Ark. So, if you see someone that does a lot of damage, let's just say this guy, I love AGS so much, you can go ahead and grab yourself this character and be like, oh, they're using these kind of gems, they're using this card set, and they're using these skills. It's absolutely super useful to have this kind of resource at hand for any player that you maybe see doing pumping, and you may be wondering like, what are they running, and maybe they have something special that you don't use. Other favorite is going to be using loa.com, which is the Korean website for Lost Ark. Go ahead and translate the page, click on ranking at the top, and then click the class you want to play. Let's just go ahead and go Breaker, for example, and then you're going to be finding yourself the highest players there are in the game by island level. So you can go, of course, look at these players and look what they're running. For example, let's click this Arrogance person right here. It's going to open up the page for him, and of course, it's going to be automatically translated. We're going to be able to find ourselves all his gear, all his rolls, and as well his jewels will be his gems, so we can look what kind of gems he is using. We want to look at his skills, for example. You can see all the tripods and everything like that. This is what I personally use to get a lot of information on maybe some more niche builds or other classes that I maybe want to play, where there's not as much of an in-depth guide on what they're on the websites. Okay, so now you've got your build. That is already perfect. Now up next, you gotta make sure that all your tripods are level 5. So sometimes from events like the anniversary event, we get these useful wishful amulet chests, which the hope ones, the legendaries, will give you level 4, and the wishful amulets give you a level 5 tripod. Of course, tripods you can as well get from doing your chaos dungeons or the Kuruzen front, and then you can go ahead and find yourself a transfer skill tree NPC, right, like this one, and you can click on them and your tripods will be in here, and you can RNG try and upgrade them. There as well are some amulets for free to grab up in some of the merchants. So over here, for example, the solo mode exchange has some inside of the exchange. All the way at the bottom you can see hope amulets and as well wishful. As well in the Light Trail exchange, which will be from the Triangle raid, you can get yourself a few more of the level 5 tripods over here as well. Getting those level 5s is essential for getting yourself a very good and strong character, so make sure you're doing this as soon as possible. Up next, we're almost done with your skills. We need to make sure that you have all the skill points available. If you go to Guide in the bottom right, if you go to Codex and type in Skill Potion, you'll be able to find yourself a ton of skill potions to get. You can see there's 3 pages of normal skill potions, and then later on we're gonna get ourselves as well the greater versions. If you click on them, you're gonna be able to see where you can get them from. Some are from adventure tomes, which is gonna be under a roster, which is gonna be under adventure, and then you can see the adventure tome. And here there will be different continents to complete, and you can see if you get yourself a certain amount of points. Let me see if I can find one right here. There will be skill point potions behind those as well. Some of them, of course, are locked behind collectibles. The most insane one is going to be behind the Ignia token. You get an Ignia token every time you 100% complete one of the adventure tomes, so you need to get yourself 8 of these to get yourself the great skill potion. And if you want the Bifrost key, or even of the higher ones, or like, you know, the Chirpian mounts, like, you need a lot of these horizontal stuff done. So this, of course, will take you a while, but it's going to assure you that you can do the best amount of damage. Because these skill points can be used on level 14 skills, and they are doing so much more than level 13, 12, or 11, for example. So you want to make sure that your highest damage skills all have a level 14 to them connected. And as you can see, 480 is the maximum amount of skill points you can get. Okay, we've covered the basics about skills, upgrading them, so what is next? Same thing, we're going to talk about the Ark Passive, which is the next part of player progression. This, of course, is a brand new system that's going to come out right now this Wednesday on the 26th for every character inside of Lost Ark, so not just the high-level ones. So the thing you got to keep in mind, you're going to be able to get yourself more points if you have better gear, better accessories. And what I mean by that is if you, for example, get yourself the Ancient Tier gear from A gear, you get yourself even more evolution points. If you get yourself Ancient Tier accessories, you're going to get yourself more enlightenment points to unlock the bottom nodes. And if you get yourself your Relic Bracelet at 1680, you're going to be able to unlock yourself even the lower nodes as well, but the Relic Bracelets will work if you have some Karma unlocked. Speaking of Karma, this is a late game system coming after 1670 when you defeat the final raid currently in the game, Act 2 Belshazzar. You're going to be able to use Karma to upgrade your points and get some extra ones to unlock those final extra nodes for some more damage. Of course, we as well have some Enlightenment Potions. We wouldn't be done with other horizontal content. No. You can get yourself currently 3 of them because the Blood Clot shard is not in the game yet for us to get this potion, but you can get yourself one from North Cruise and Adventure Tome. You can get yourself from a Reputation, which is under the Una tasks, and then as well we have ourselves one from the World Boss inside of North Cruise as well. Of course, the Una tasks are under Alt J, and if you can see, you will have to do a lot of reputation statuses, and this is just you do more Una tasks every day, and the more you do, the more your reputation will go up, and then you get yourself some rewards if you finally reach the max tiers, which most of the time will be these skill potions. Okay, so we have now all our skill potions. We have gotten level 5 tripods, we got our alignment points, we got our build. What is next? Up next is going to be systems to increase your armor's damage. So we first have the Elixir system. Elixers is a system you unlock by doing the Ivory Tower of Chaos. You can get them from normal mode and hard mode, but as well from other places. You can craft them by buying materials from the market, or if you go to the solo exchange, you can go ahead and go to the Shareward, which has a bunch of raid materials. And if you go all the way down, you can see weekly, 3 times a week, you can buy yourself some Splendid Elixirs of Wisdom that you get from the clear middles, which you get from clearing raids that are on solo mode or below. So we're gonna go ahead and grab these up. Boom, 3 of these bad boys. As well, we'll show that if you go to this NPC right here, imbue or craft elixir and craft item, you can craft yourself the catalyst, which is needed to do elixirs. And as well, you can see you can craft more elixirs if you have some materials from the raid, or if you have the materials you can buy from other players. So you can see I'm going to go ahead and craft myself 3 elixirs right here, and boom, we get ourselves 3 more elixirs. Then we're going to go ahead and go to the transmute elixir area, and in here you're going to be able to get your elixirs. So in your guide there will be, of course, as well, which elixir sets you need to get. You need to either get yourself critical or master, and if you are a support, it's probably going to be luminary, which reduces the cooldown of your spells, which is absolutely awesome. For other reasons that you go ahead and upgrade your gear is going to be boss damage for your shoulder. Your chest plate is going to mainly go for damage rolls like strength, attack power, or of course weapon power. And then your pants, most of the time you can go for critical damage, and some other classes run additional damage as well. Check your class guides to know which ones you need to make, because of course it's a little bit different for everyone. For me, for example, it's going to be critical with boss damage with a double damage roll together with crit damage on the pants, and then of course critical again once again on the gloves. This system is where people leave a lot of damage. Over here I have a little elixir cheat sheet. This is a little bit out of date, I will say, so these numbers are not fully up to tier 4 standards, but they still show the difference of what a set can make. So you can see right here, if you have a full 40 set with level 4s with no extra damage rolls, you gain around 14% damage. If you get yourself level 4 unique damage modifier, so boss damage, crit damage, etc., you get yourself 18% in total. But if you have full level 4 damage rolls, attack power, and now currently as well, it will be together with your main stats of intelligence, dex, or strength, you get yourself around 25% damage. So that will be like 4 4s. And if you get full 5 5, so like 5 boss damage, 5 crit damage together with a good roll, attack power, or intelligence, you should get around 30% damage increase. So people that have only made their 40 set but never enhanced it to a better set, they are missing around 16% damage, maybe a little bit more or less nowadays with the current meta, but still, like, at least 10% is what you're missing if you have not maxed out your elixirs. So this is why it's so important to every week at least try yourself a few elixirs, maybe run the Ivory Tower yourself, even on a high character, and get yourself the best elixir. Still, myself, I don't have them all. You can see I have myself critical or weapon power, which should be replaced by either int or attack power. So my elixirs aren't the best either. Of course, they're pretty decent, but I'm still leaving like probably like 2 or 3% out there because I have not maxed them out with the best stats. Of course, elixirs are RNG, so they can be very frustrating. Like I said, I am using like 30 elixirs every single week and I'm still not getting it, and some people are literally getting a full set in 1 week, so it can be super lucky. Up to you. Just give it a try, you know, keep trying your best, and eventually you'll get it. Up next, we're going to talk about the Transcendance system, which you can see is the little flower icon. You can see 126 is the maximum on your account. We can get ourselves, of course, Transcendance on the helmet, shoulders, body, legs, gloves, and as well, of course, your weapon. So you get yourself all the Transcendence from your armor from the raid Thamine, and then if you do Behemoth, you get yourself the materials for the weapon. As you can see from all the gear pieces, they are going up to a Transcendence grade of level 21. You unlock the maximum amount of abilities from 20, but there is a purpose of going 21, because some of these pieces you can see are based on the Transcendence grade, and of course, the more flowers you have, the more stats you're gonna get. And nowadays, with how easy the Transcendence minigame is, getting 21 on everything is not. Then next up, a big increase in damage, of course, is going to be your accessories. There's going to be some good accessory rolls that you want for every character. And if you are going for more of a budget option, there is some rolls that are better for a certain class than the other one. So first up, we have ourselves Necklace. The best 2 rolls for DPS are going to be outgoing damage and as well additional damage, with outgoing damage is a little bit better than additional. For supports, you have yourself brand power and as well additional meter gain. So get any of those on your necklace. The best one for support is going to be brand power over additional meter. Then we have ourselves the earrings, which you either going to have the attack power or the weapon power. So they're both kind of equal, so it doesn't really matter which one you get, but I think it is the attack power one that is used by supports as well. Up next, we have rings. Those can come with 2 rolls for DPS, which are going to be crit rate and crit damage. Both of them are good. Of course, take what you want to take. I'm personally taking myself crit rate because it works with the breaker passive, which is awesome, and as well it works with blunt thorn. Blunt thorn, it does more damage the more crit rate you have, up to a maximum of around 118%. So you want to go ahead and you reach that cap with your accessories and everything else in the game. And for supports, it's going to be the ally enhancement and like the Z damage buff increase as well. It's going to be 2 rolls for those. The most important thing when you're looking or making accessories, that you are going to buy and use high enough quality accessories to get the max amount of alignment points. I'm going to show you right now the difference. If we go to around 40 and above, and you can see there's some of them are going to be max. You can see this necklace right here is only providing 9 alignment points. And if we go over to one that's a little bit higher, we can see this one is going to provide 10. So because of the quality is actually lower on the other one, it's going to be below 67. Then you're going to get yourself a lower alignment point. So you never want to enhance an accessory that's lower than 67, just because it literally will never be used inside of Lost Ark. As well, you can get yourself different tiers of rolls, like the lowest roll, which is going to be the blue roll, purple roll, and legendary roll. Of course, all of them have different kinds of prices to them. You can see it started like 170k for like a legendary roll. If you go down to purple, it already goes down to a nice 21k. So if you want to min-max and get the best amount of accessories, then it's going to cost you a pretty penny. I would recommend, though, at least getting yourself a mid-roll, or preferably, if possible, a high roll on your accessories, especially if you're going to go for relic ones. Those should be pretty cheap to get, and in my opinion 100% worth doing. Like you see, for 22,000 gold you can have yourself a legendary roll ring. Okay, all accessories done besides the bracelet and of course the stone. We'll talk about those right now. So bracelet is a little bit of a new one. This is the newest accessory added to Lost Ark that we can go ahead and upgrade, and this one is a bit tricky. I'm going to talk about relic and as well the future of ancient, if you're going to upgrade to that once you have high enough level, which is 16k. 80. So you can see right here, I have myself a bracelet, and this bracelet is 115 crit minimum. Grants effect is 3, which means that I can get yourself 3 rerolls. If I go ahead and reroll, you can see I have a pretty good bracelet myself with additional damage, demon damage, crit damage. There's a bunch of good rolls. There's a bunch of tables out there as well for the best rolls you can get. It will be on the screen right now, and of course you can just try to get the best ones you get. It's a little bit RNG, but I have a little tip of saving some money. So you can see, like I said, the 125k is the cheapest bracelet there is, which gives me only 77 swiftness and 117 crit. But what you can do is, if you change the maximum item rank to relic, and you deduct 20 from the maximum amount you want to get. So I, for example, have 115, which is 95. If I type in 95, and for relic, the maximum granted is 2, and search then, you can see I actually can buy myself a bracelet for 100,000 gold instead of 125. And this one comes with 76 swiftness, which will upgrade to 96, which is 20 better than the other ancient bracelets. So what you can do is, if you take your bracelet, you can go ahead and upgrade it when it's 1680. I got myself a example bracelet. We're going to go ahead and roll this bad boy right here. So we got an outgoing damage. Good. We're going to select this bad boy because we want to keep this. We can lock this one. We're going to roll the other ones. Okay, we're rolling. Domination. We don't care about this. Of course, am I 1680? No, we cannot upgrade it. Am I 1680? Yes, we can upgrade this bad boy. So we can go ahead and click upgrade bracelet, and then you can see we get another random roll, and as well, all my bracelet stats will become higher, which is absolutely awesome. So you get plus 20 on all your base stats if they are stuff. You can see endurance goes from 70 to 90, and all the other stuffs will be boosted as well. And this is why you can, of course, buy a relic bracelet and just upgrade it for a cheaper price and get something really good out of it. That is how I personally got this insane bracelet myself. I bought myself a relic, rolled it, I got 2 good rolls, and I was like, yes, let's upgrade it and get that final roll as well. And I got very lucky, got myself crit damage and crit hit damage as well, which is super good. Okay, we're almost done with this whole page, guys. I know, there's so much to upgrade in Lost Ark. We got the stones as well, which ties in together with engraving. So let's go ahead and head over to there right now. So in your build, you find yourself, or maybe you looked some people up on Uoa or Loa, you're going to be able to find the best build for your character. So you can see these skills are going to be called engraving. So we have ourselves, for example, Raid Captain, Adrenaline, Master Brawler, Keen Blunt, Grudge. These are all just empowering my character, and you can see on the right side how much damage they actually boost, which is pretty awesome. So these can be upgraded with books, so be sure you have yourself the best grade available that you can afford. Relic ones are very expensive, so I would not recommend buying them unless they are very cheap for you if you're using some very weird obscure engraving, but otherwise they're going to cost hundreds of thousands or millions of gold. I'm going to take Master Brawl as an example. You want to go ahead and start out, of course, with your blue engraving. You want to immediately upgrade that to a purple version, so you can see you need yourself 20 books of every tier to upgrade it to the max. So we need 20 Master Brawler books, then we need 20 of the legendary versions, and then eventually you need 20 of the relic ones to upgrade even more. Like I said, I would just stop at the legendary for now. That is the norm for most players. Getting yourself relic books is just very expensive, and would not recommend it unless you have a lot of extra excess gold. And most of the time it's just not worth it unless you know, have nothing else to upgrade. But you can see as well, my stone upgrades 2 of my engravings. So this is where the stone comes into play. So stones drop, of course, from various places around the game, raids, dungeons, all that kind of stuff. If you get a good stone for 2 of the engravings that you're using, for example, I have an Adrenaline Master Brawler, you can go ahead and upgrade this stone. And if you get yourself X amount of levels on them, which is going to be level 7 and above, you're going to go ahead and get yourself levels. You want at least a 7/7 stone, and that's going to be for a level 2 and a level 2. That's like the borderline basics for most classes out there, and that's what you want to get. If you get yourself very lucky and you get yourself a 9/7 or even a 10/7, you can get even more, like a level 3 or even a level 4. I was lucky enough to get myself a level 3 and a level 2, which is a 9/7, but that's already really rare. I think it's like 0.05%. Okay, up next, we're not even done. Let's continue over to skins and virtues. So, of course, from doing stuff around the world, you get yourself some virtues, which is pretty awesome. Some of them are going to, like, increase your strength, increase your crit, all that kind of stuff. So, but those are just by playing the game. Those really matter too much. I would probably say it's maybe even like 0.5% damage, or maybe even less. So don't worry about those too much, but worry about your fashion, guys, because fashion actually gives you quite a lot of stat inside this game. So, probably from free 3 events, you get yourself a full purple set of gear. You can see this gives like 1% on all of the pieces besides these stupid little accessories. They only give some virtues on the sides like courage, charisma, those kind of things. Those are mostly used for like rapport and other horizontal content, but you can see these are all 1%. But if you get yourself a tier above that, which is going to be legendary, which you can get from Yos's Jar or buying from other players, which I would definitely recommend. Yos's Jar is pretty random and can just not be worth it most of the time. So if you buy these legendary pieces, which is for skins, you can see they give actually 2% more damage on all of them. So you can see 2%, 2%, 2%, 2%. So if you're not wearing skins, I am already doing 8% more strength damage than you are, which is a lot of damage. Up next is gonna be another system which is pretty expensive, and that is gonna be gems. Up next, the next thing that makes your character strong is gonna be gems. Gems is one of the best investments, of course, to get some damage up to a certain point. I would personally recommend up to around level 7, level 8 as the maximum. Above that, you're going to kind of have diminishing returns of how much money you're spending for what you're actually getting in total. So you can see tier 4 gems will either boost your damage or reduce your cooldowns. And as well, you get yourself a basic attack power increase based on what level gem they have. You can see level 8 are boosting around 0.8. And then you can see a level 9, for example, over here, boosts 1%. And the maximum is a level 10. If you want to get more of these gems, go ahead and get them from the Chaos Dungeons, Kurazan Front, all that kind of stuff. Like there's a bunch of places around the game you can get gems from. And as well, the cube is very important and a good source of gems. Or buy them from other players. If you don't have any gems and don't have any gold, you can go ahead and go to the solo mode exchange, and there will be some gems to buy inside of here. You can see level 7s, but these are tier 3 gems. They will not give you any additional damage on your character by equipping them compared to the tier 4 gems, which are these purple versions. So that basic attack power buff does not exist on tier 3 gems. But of course, with the express event, which we're going to get on the 26th as well, your character will get some free event gems, which will be tier 4. Fill the rest of them with at least level 5s, I would say, and then you should be good, and you will be a lot more appealing as well in the party finder. But again, don't overspend on your gems, because like I said, sometimes it is just not worth buying a level 8 for a skill that maybe does like 5% of your total damage. Up next, cards. This is a big source of damage, which some new players definitely overlook. So we first have the 2 basic sets, which are going to be Light of Salvation, which is the basic DPS set. This is going to boost your light damage, which is good against most bosses as well. Of course, we have the old deep dive set, but now with the new event, we're going to at least get LOS 24. This is always better than any of the deep dive sets that you have obtained. The supports are going to run Lost Wind Cliff instead. There is some niche card sets like Spearmaster, for example, and as well there is gonna be the Kazuro's Legion Commander, which is a dark type damage increase, but there's hardly any raids that use these. And now for the newer raids, we have like the Thunderbolt sets and we have like Earth sets, but these are like super duper late game, and most people still at this point don't have them. So just go for your Light of Salvation set or Lost Wind Cliff set. But we're not done with cards. This, of course, is just a small part of your damage increase, because books are where it's at. So if you go to books, and you can see in here, there's so much to collect. If you get yourself a base card set, so without any upgrades, you most of the time get yourself a nice little boost in some points. This can be expertise, this can be spec, this can be swiftness. So you need to make sure that you have every single card there is in the game at least once to get this little extra boost. It's actually going to add up a ton overall. If you can see, for example, I get plus 41 on crit, I get 37 on spec, 41, 42, 38, and 43. So it's a lot of stats for free from just some books. And then, of course, you are looking for specific type damage. Mainly demon is what I would focus on first. If you can see, I have it all. So you can see all these damage is where you go ahead and max out a card, which is meaning that you need to get yourself 15 copies of a single card to max upgrade it. I will see. I think I have one. Yeah, this one right here. I think I can go ahead, or another one. No, where is it? It was somewhere. Is it maybe in insect damage? It could be, yeah, here, Narkiel. So this one I think like a few days ago got my 15th card, so you can go ahead and enhance this bad boy, and boom, now it's max awakened, and we got ourselves a little bit of extra insect damage, 0.07%. But of course it adds up, because if you see right now, I have a whopping 9.2% extra, which is a lot, guys, which is 6.2% of that is from books alone. So literally, if I'm fighting a demon type, which is most bosses in the game, I am doing 6.2% more damage than anyone out there that has not touched their books. One cheeky thing actually I forgot to mention inside the skill, some of these levels are bound behind levels as well. Level 70 is needed to reach the level 14 requirement, otherwise you are not even able to put 14 points in because it's literally locked behind level 70. I'm sorry for forgetting about that, but it's in the video now. Okay, so we have our Ark Passive setup, we have our gear setup, accessories, skins, engravings, gems, cards. Are we done? No, we are not done yet. Ugh. First of all, your pets. Your pets are actually very important, and make sure that you're using the right pet effect. So you want the highest effect that you're using currently. For example, I'm a crit character, so I want a pet that uses crit. You can go ahead and, of course, re-roll this pet effect if you want to. You can re-roll these at the pet management. The easiest one for me to find is inside my stronghold, but most cities have them. It's like a sort of little dog icon you can see right there. And if you go ahead and talk to the NPC, you can go ahead and re-roll the stats. You can see you can go crit to spec or swift because the other ones are mostly not used. As well, later on, you can roll max HP to like physical defense to get a little bit more tankiness. As well, you can upgrade your pet to a legendary tier if you get enough pet tokens. As you can see, if we upgrade right here, if you use 30 of the tokens which you get from your stronghold, you can even get yourself a pet skill, which is like a very little buff, but it still has some chance, for example, to give you a shield or gain some specialty meter for the classes that use spec meter. It is very useful to have a good pet skill on that as well. One little system that has actually been newly added is going to be the pet wrench. If you talk to this NPC right here, go over to the ability training, you can go ahead and send out your pets on a little mission, and they can go ahead and get yourself some extra bonuses. If you go to my secure division, you can see I already have a few pets that have some stats. You can see I got myself a 0.5% demon, 1% int, and as well a nice 0.7% additional damage. And let's see what happens. I'm going to complete the training. I got nothing interesting here, and here nothing interesting, and here we got nothing interesting either. We can as well send them out again. The Thar is the best one. This is going to give you all the damage rolls. If you get a legendary pet, you can roll up to a legendary roll. Otherwise, you can only get a purple if you use a purple. So we're going to go ahead and use this one right here. Boom, send out another one. This one is nothing, so we just choose a random pet. We don't care. And Thar, again, we use it on a legendary. And then we just, of course, hope and pray that we get ourselves a roll that we need. Talking about all that stuff has made me hungry, and of course food buffs are very good in this game as well. You most of the time have an anniversary feast available to you, which is an easy one to get yourself for free stats. Or you can as well get yourself, of course, some crystalline auras, or you can craft one with the materials you get from life skilling. For example, I'm going to make this one right here. This is the 3rd anniversary feast, which we currently have. Of course, this can always change in the future. And if we make this feast, you can see if we interact with it, we get ourselves nice free 5% attack speed and movement speed, which can help with the raid captain, which can help make you cast your spells faster. And it's very useful. And if you, of course, eat one of these, bada beam, bada boom, you get yourself a nice 2-hour buff, which is absolutely amazing. There's other food in the game as well, like this. For example, Virtuoso Strip Loin Steak Meal, which gives me 12,000 strength and 8,000 vitality, which is some HP, and as well natural resource recovery, which is mana, which I don't have on Breaker. I just have it for the strength in there. Okay, we are almost done. Can you believe it? This recording currently has been 53 minutes. It will hopefully be added down a little bit, but it has been a long time already. So let's talk about honing real quick. So honing is the biggest and the easiest way to increase your damage for most people. So we have ourselves normal honing, which you can of course use on your armor and your weapon. My weapon is max, currently is plus 25, so I cannot hone it. And every single piece of gear, you get yourself a little bit of damage. Of course, as well, you have advanced honing, which you can use. And this is another type of honing on top of your normal honing, which is a guaranteed honing. There's no RNG chance involved, but you cannot get really lucky either on it as well. It just gives you more damage, and it's all the same amount that you get. So every time you hone yourself a full level of gear, so a level on here, level here, level here, level here, level here, you get yourself a nice 0.95% damage. So around like 1% you get from leveling up your armor, which is pretty nice. And you may be wondering, how much is gonna be my weapon? Your weapon gives you 1.3%. So if you're looking for just pure damage and you don't care about anything else, then upgrading your weapon, of course, is very good. But make sure that your armor is leveled as well, because otherwise you're gonna get one shot in every raid, and it's just very, very annoying. The same for advanced honing. It will just give you the same amount, but in increments of 5, because 5 levels of advanced honing is equal to 1 hone. Maximum currently is level 20, so that means a total of 4 hones per piece with advanced honing. Okay, we're almost there. The final step, and that is going to be the most stupid system, in my opinion, in the game, and that's going to be quality upgrading. So quality upgrading you can do on your top, legs, whatever, and of course your weapon. And this is just you using chaos stones that you get from raids for a RNG chance of a upgrade. Up to a maximum of 100 points at weapon, you get yourself plus 30% additional damage. But you can see I am level 96, and I have 28.44. So I'm technically still missing 1.56%, but I only have a 0.30% chance to get up by 1 point, because succeeding doesn't mean that I go to a level 100. It is the chance of going to 97, going to 98 is even rare, 99 is even rare, and 100 is like 0.08%. So it's really, really rare, and of course this happens for every single piece of gear. If you're very lucky, maybe you got a 100 quality, that technically means that you hit a 0.08% chance, which is pretty awesome. For demonstration purposes, let's see. I'm going to do 5 taps on this video. So one right here, so it's minus 300 gold, minus 300 gold, minus 300 gold, minus 300 gold, and minus 800 gold, and I got 0 upgrades. So this is why this system is one of the worst ones in the game. It has some good damage behind it, but it's only on the weapon. The armor only gives HP. And the last tip I can give you is go to Trixion. Talk to Beatrice over here and enter the training ground. Click character settings, go over to engravings, scroll all the way down, grab yourself spirit absorption, and probably as well some kind of mana increase. So we will grab ourselves max MP right here. Go ahead and max out this bad boy and leave spirit absorption as it is. Go to type, click Scarecrow, click Boss, and start practicing your rotation. Being comfortable and knowing the right rotation is one of the most important things on your character. So knowing that I, for example, on Suda, have to press a yellow skill and then a green skill is the basics of the basics. Otherwise, I literally will get no gauge, and I could never go ahead and use my all-amazing Suda Punch ability, because it literally will just never generate meter. I would as well also advise go ahead and watch people do the latest raid, either A-Gear or Belshazzar, and see how they play, and maybe you can learn something about how you're playing in the same raid. The last 2 things I would recommend, of course, is the correct use of Dark Grenades and Atrophine. If you know there's going to be a good damage window by maybe watching some streamers or watching videos, you can learn these timings yourself. Make sure to chuck a Dark Grenade beforehand, and then be sure to use an Atro when you have a huge burst window, because I'll show you the difference right now. So an Atrophine boosts your damage by around 30%, by the way. So I'm going to do my mode right now without any 30% damage buff. And you can see I did around 2.6 billion damage. This took around 9 seconds, and an Atrophine lasts 10 as well. I quickly simulated the 30% I will be getting from Atrophine because I cannot use them in Trixion, but I just added some engravings, and instead of 2.6 billion, I did 3.5 billion, and I didn't even crit one of my big skills. So you can see the right timing of using an Atrophine and another Dark Grenade, which adds another 20% on top of that, is going to propel your damage all the way to the moon without even investing that much money. So that's, I think, all the tips I can give to make your character just a bit stronger. Let me know if you knew all of these things inside of the game. Maybe some of these you didn't know, and maybe some of those you actually didn't pay that much attention to. I would say gearing in Lost Ark is pretty hard, and especially if you want to max it out to the max, it's going to take you literally millions and millions and millions of gold. But hopefully next time you're going to do a little bit more damage in your next raid. Be sure to, of course, keep still studying, and of course watch some other videos on the raids you're doing with your character. So if you guys did enjoy, I would highly appreciate a like down below, guys. Subscribe if you're new, and thank you so much for watching. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.